Disney's Coronado Springs Resort is one of Walt Disney World's moderate hotels, and the resort takes you on a journey to a romantic paradise like no other, according to Disney. But should it be your next hotel choice when visiting Florida? Today, we're sharing the reasons why you shouldn't choose Disney's Coronado Springs Resort for your next vacation. Hello, everyone. I am Craig Williams, and joining me for this discussion about Coronado Springs Resort is Hannah Anderson.
Hi.
As well as Rhino.
Hello.
And before we get started, I want to remind you this is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel. If you like our content and you want to support us, book a vacation through Dreams Unlimited Travel. It costs you no extra money, and you get the support of one of the great Dreams Unlimited travel agents like Hannah Anderson. So head over to dreamsunlimitedtravel.com today for a free no obligation quote. This is also brought to you by our Patreon supporters. If you want to learn how to get exclusive content from our DIS team, head over to patreon.com/DISUnlimited. Now, if you're watching this right in the moment here, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you're notified anytime we release new videos. But on with this review. Our team recently had a room at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, and today we'll be sharing our thoughts on the hotel. I want to make sure this is very clear up front. Disney Coronado Springs Resort is technically a combination of the classic hotel, the original hotel portion that was there, as well as Gran Destino Tower. However, in this review, we're specifically talking about everything except for Gran Destino Tower. We're kind of, we're pretending that Gran Destino Tower is its own thing that was just like plopped on there in that same property, and I kind of feel like that's the vibe you get when you stay at Gran Destino Tower. You're like, yeah, it technically is there, but don't come into my tower. It's my tower, and everything else out, it's all what you have. It's like the castle of Coronado Springs Resort. And, if you're not a king or a queen, you're not getting into that castle. So for this review, if you're hoping to hear about, our dining experiences that we've had at Toledo, at Dahlia Lounge, Barcelona Lounge.
Barcelona.
Did I say that correctly?
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
It's on the F.
I didn't say that enough. But if you were expecting to tune in to hear about all of that, this isn't the review for you. But we will cover that at some point in the future here as we continue to cover all the resorts at Walt Disney World. We are just going to be covering those classic motel style rooms that you find in the casitas, the ranchos, and the cabana section, as well as dining in the main building area, the entire pool area. And then we're tacking on Three Bridges Bar and Grill. I know that it's more recent, but I feel like if we don't at least add that in, then we're going to probably come across as a little too negative when it comes to Coronado Springs. But I want to hopefully take a moment and reset here on the resort overall and pose our first question to the group and say, hey, Hannah, hi, Rhino.
Hey.
Before we really get into this, Coronado Springs, before we've gone over there in recent days to check out the resort and really cover it, what were your original thoughts and conceptions and ideas about the resort? How did you feel about it prior to the review?
Okay. If it was a device like this, there was 3 ticks, one on the far left, one on the far right, one right in the middle. And you said very interested, not interested at all, indifferent. I think my little ticker would be right at that middle tick leaning toward the left.
Okay, so indifferent to not interested
at all. Yeah,
I actually really like this as a benchmark. How did you feel about
Let me put my hands
up. If there was a graphic, it's we're high budget here.
I promise. I'm going to be the one editing this. Amanda knows that, but I'm not putting that in there.
Who is Amanda?
Amanda, we met her last night at Coronado Springs Resort.
Yeah, Amanda Bynes.
And she said, Craig, thank you for all the editing you did. And I felt bad. And I was like, Rhino edits too, because he does edit a lot.
She thought
too.
He was the sole editor of the DIS. And I was like, I think we edit whatever we shoot, but that's okay.
Yeah, you're like,
it was nice to meet you, Amanda. I hope you finished your erotic novel by the water. Oh. Hannah, what was your option?
More on that later. Okay, so here's my barometer. Maybe I'll make my face the middle, and this is going to be
no. It's like a guitar thing. So it's got to go out like this. It's got to be like a rainbow. I don't know how do you call that. What's that?
Oh,
What's
okay,
this?
like an amp.
Like an amp.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
So
right,
the
music.
ticker is like, what are we
Okay.
interested? Yeah.
So this is going to
What are
be.
you
I'm like
talking
super
about?
interested.
Okay, so like in Back to the Future, when Marty is turning on the machines, there was one part of the machine
you're
that goes
talking
like
about
this.
it in old school. Yeah, you're talking
Yeah.
about like if you're at a sporting event
Yeah, and
and they
sometimes
have
it's
the
all in-
applausometer
Yeah,
on
the
the screen.
And this
Applausometer.
my applausometer was in the
Not the kiss cam,
Okay.
the applausometer.
you know
Okay.
indifferent
to
and not
get
interested
loud
at all.
and see
Oh,
how
to get
loud.
loud. Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's when you're making this graphic. You know what you're aiming for.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again. As much as Amanda thinks I am.
Okay. So we're back. And I'm going to be somewhere like right here if this is very, very excited for Coronado. And I hate saying that, but it's kind of like my initial thoughts. I have only stayed at Coronado in the classic section personally. Like, well, I have not stayed there in many years. Gran Destino did not exist at that point. I stayed in a room very, very far away from the main lobby. And so my experience was okay. The room was fine. It was nice enough. Pool was good. And then now all my new experiences are Gran Destino and eating there. So I was kind of coming in like, prove me
Gotcha.
wrong.
Yeah. So for me, I have always had a soft spot for Coronado Springs. So mine lies, I would say, in between like interested and disinterested. I don't remember which direction it's going.
To the right,
I'm definitely
is positive.
closer
Oh.
towards the interested part.
Okay.
For sure. But that's like, it's also a Coronado Springs of a different time. Like the first time we stayed there, I felt like we were super far away and it wasn't great. But then our family discovered one of the best kept secrets at the time of Coronado Springs. And that's that, they had a club level that was the closest building to like the lobby and check-in area. And the best part about that is it was still moderate pricing
I had
for the
forgotten
club
about
level
that,
room.
yeah.
So you still had the amenity of the free beers and wine at night and the snacks. But it was just a slight uptick on the moderate pricing. So it was like one of those things where it's like, we can get a club level room at Coronado Springs. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, that
and
makes sense.
so that then it became kind of a little bit of a favorite. And I do like that theme. I like the Southwestern kind of Mexican style theme of it. I feel like it used to translate that better, and it still does in
I would
some
agree.
areas of the resort. But it like I've always kind of vibed with it. And then when Gran Destino came along, I actually hyped me up even more because I will never forget going to that media event for the first, like, and I think it was when it actually opened. It was like everyone was kind of mixed together, but it was like stepping in. You're like, I can't believe they built this here. They just built basically a deluxe resort at a moderate resort. And so it's kind of like, wow, this is very, very nice. This really brings up this resort overall, and 3 bridges being added to it makes it even better. So Coronado's always kind of had a spot for me. But
wait, 3 bridges. There was nothing there before Gran Destino was built, right?
No.
Yeah,
Which is wild.
Yeah.
It really does add something. Also, a cutaway to be able to, not literally in the editing, a cutaway, like a pathway
To
be
lessen
able
the
to,
walk.
Yeah, to get
cut
to the
through,
pool,
which
to
is-
get to the other
which is-
buildings.
yeah.
Yeah. So I will say, unfortunately for me in this situation, and why this might skew a little bit more negative at times, I feel like in terms of the classic original rooms there and some of the more original vibes of Coronado Springs, it put me in an opportunity where I can be more critical about it because I did used to have such an affinity for it and love it so much. It had to live up to my old thoughts and preconceived notions. And unfortunately, it didn't get there. But I don't like, I know
alert.
this is the reasons why you shouldn't choose this resort. That's what we're calling it. But I do want to point out that there are going to be a lot of positives along the way. I know a lot of you want to book it. And I'm talking, again, the classic parts of this, the casitas, the cabanas, the ranchos, like all of those rooms. I know people are still staying there. It's not just Gran Destino that everyone wants to flock to. It's a big hotel, and there's a lot of good reasons why to stay there too. But I feel like this one, we really have to showcase the balance. It's when we did Port Orleans French Quarter, it was very easy to find the good and a lot a lot more difficult to find the things that we didn't like, but this felt like a little bit more of an even balance of good and bad. So the first reason why we're saying you shouldn't stay at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort is the actual size of the resort. It is massive and sprawling. And as Rhino pointed out, the fact that there are bridges, count them. How many?
I believe there are
Uno,
3.
dos,
Much like the Tres
tres.
Leches dessert at 3 bridges.
Yeah,
There are 3 bridges
outside of Ebbing, Missouri,
And
correct?
There's 3 bridges
milks.
outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Yeah. So yeah, you can get around the resort pretty easily, but it's still massive and sprawling. Like, for example, with this recent stay at Coronado Springs, we were in the casita section, and that's just off the main dining area where you'll find Maya Grill and the quick service and Rick's. So you're like, wow, casitas right there. This good. How could you get any closer? And then it's like, oh, building 2. Even better, building 2. First comes building 1, then comes building 2. And I crap you not. And pardon my French on that. It was like the maze that we had to go through to get back to Casitas 2, to the actual room, which I felt like was at the end of Casitas 2 that you could get into. It took like 10 minutes to navigate all the way to find there, which that's, in and of itself, maybe that's not awful, but if you get dropped off at that hotel and you're checking in and then you're walking that far with all your luggage, pulling it in tow, that's a lot right there. And that's when you're there. That's not even talking about if you're in, the cabanas are closer to Gran Destino, so that's not far away, but Ranchos are all the way in the back. So you're talking like you could be super far out, hauling luggage, moving. Just it can be kind of a bit of a nightmare. And honestly, it is a downside of it. It's just the resort. It's a convention center first resort, unfortunately. And because of that, it is massive in its size. I think it's even more massive, in my opinion, than Caribbean Beach. And I don't like that resort for a lot of the same reasons. It's just too big for me. It loses a charm because of that.
I think it's also I know there are other Disney resorts on property that are a little more massive. Like, like I think about some of like Pop Century or the All-Star Sports or something. You know what I mean? Like those buildings, you can kind of get further and further away from the lobby. But it's like kind of the shape of it too, where it's almost like it's that same thing that happens when you're driving, right? When you're on like a 2-lane highway, when it's just the woods, you're just like, I'm not going anywhere. This feels like it's just, I can see stuff moving, but I have no perception of how much farther.
Well,
so it like adds to this thing where it feels like an oasis, like you are just lost in the desert out back,
And
oasis,
I feel like
excuse me.
3 bridges don't really, depending on where you are, like doesn't really shave off much time from your walking. And then also because it is that like southwestern landscaping, like I feel like there's not as much shade. There's a lot of there's cactus and I don't know, rocky like terrain. Like it's not like, oh, here's some big lush oak trees. It just feels like you are on a mission to get to your room. So
absolutely. And speaking of rooms, let's look at a positive with it though. There are 1,900 plus rooms in the original section of Coronado Springs Resort. Over 1,900, which is insane. But because there's so many rooms, I think you can actually get some really excellent room rates at Coronado Springs because of how many they actually have. And there's lots of different sections you can book for it. So you can get a standard view room, you can get a water view room. Those typically sleep up to 4 people with 2 queen beds in the room. There's some king bed rooms that are just 1 king that sleep 2. You have junior suites that sleep up to 6. You have 1 bedroom suites in the casitas, and there's plenty more. And so I was pricing it out for July. I know that's not a lot of turnaround time in here, but I still wanted to look because we know it's going to be a little bit of a slower summer here. See like what's the pricing on it. So for pricing on a weeknight, the average price was about $280 per night for a standard view room, which I think that is more than fair for a moderate resort at Walt Disney World in the summer, considering how much you have around, and you do have access to what Gran Destino has to offer as well as the rest of the resort. And it didn't really go up even more when I kind of extended it out to a 7-night stay. And once you factor in the weekends, get a little more expensive. It's still, the average room rate was still only at $286 a night.
That's
so
really
that's
good.
under
Really
300.
good. Yeah.
I think that is
I mean,
really
Pop
good.
Century's 250 plus most nights, and it's harder to get a discount at those resorts, I think, because of the Skyliner and the different transportation, which I know we'll talk about. But one thing I feel like I want to point out is like Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, those are the kind of resorts that, yes, you can find a good rate at. I would encourage splurging on a preferred room or, paying that little bit of an upgrade to get you closer to the lobby. And then that's a lot of, it's hard to do.
That being said,
But
Casitas 2
yeah.
was considered a preferred room, believe it or
But
not.
is it better than the Ranchos section?
For someone who has a car, I would prefer to be all the way in the back in the Ranchos, I
Okay.
believe. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, but
walking, I would absolutely agree. You are correct.
Would you be
Yeah, for
taking
the
that car
average.
to and from the theme parks?
No, probably not.
That
most
goes
people.
into
Well,
how
'cause
my family
my-
would vacation. Yes, the answer is
Yeah.
except for Magic Kingdom. That is
Well-
always a bus one.
Oh, for sure.
But every other resort, every other theme park, take the bus.
Depending on where you are in the resort, do you not have to ride the bus around to the other stops at the resort? Right? Isn't this a multi
Yes,
bus
it's a
stop
multi-stop,
resort? Yeah, which can be add on that time and stuff. So that's just why I'm asking about the car.
I think that is a very good
Yeah,
point
it is a
with
good
it.
point,
So,
yeah.
so preferred, there is absolutely probably, but
Right.
just because it says preferred doesn't mean you will feel like you're getting preferential
feel preferred,
treatment.
yes.
If you want the true preferential treatment, again, we're not reviewing it right now. Gran Destino Tower, beautiful. You're very close to everything. You're right there, baby. It's great.
All
Tony the
right.
Tiger.
Thank you, Tony.
So let's talk about another positive that I think comes along with the size of the resort, because it is definitely a positive. It's the amount of pools that you actually have around the resort. There are 3 leisure pools that, smaller pools. There's one in the Casitas, one in the Ranchos, and one in the Cabana section. And then you have the main pool, which is the Lost City of Cibola pool at the dig site, which I think that this is such an impressive pool area.
Yeah.
It has always blown me away. That Mayan pyramid is a stunner. 50-foot water everywhere, 123-foot long water slide,
Yeah.
part of it too. Like, this is a good pool. This is a really good pool.
Yeah, it's a big pool too. Which I feel like some of these, like the larger moderate resorts, don't have a big pool, especially in terms of like the seating area. And I feel like there is plenty of seating by that pool, and you don't have that like at Port Orleans Riverside, which is not as big a resort, but still a big resort. It's hard to find a chair there.
Yeah.
So and it's beautiful. It does feel like you're maybe more at like an all-inclusive resort in the Mexican Riviera or something, it definitely, that's where I feel like I feel the theme the most.
And the thing I love about the pool is I think we talked about a little bit in French Quarter. I like when that extra theming is around the pool area and it really plays into it all. Like I look at the pool at Grand Floridian. I'm not saying that it's a bad pool. I prefer the theming at Coronado Springs' pool. I think it's actually better.
It's a little more on the nose,
Yeah, no, it is. So I think there's just because it's moderate doesn't mean that pool doesn't feel like it's a deluxe pool area. And what I also learned is that thanks Disney's website, that the hot tub at Coronado Springs is the largest hot tub on property, and it can fit up to 22 souls.
Something you never really want to hear in a hot tub. I feel like you're like,
my skin
soup?
crawls every
Yeah,
time.
it's-
Yeah.
As if a hot tub was not hot enough, then you're like
22
let's-
sweaty
too hot in the
bodies.
hot tub. Too hot in the hot tub.
But I mean, that's a plus for some people, maybe at the end of a long convention day, you're like, we want to.
I want to cozy up my coworkers in a hot tub.
Especially those convention folks.
Yeah. I mean, and then you think about it, there's, I feel like in kind of that Southwestern Mexico theme, like maybe you're getting some pineapples, maybe you're getting some upside down pineapples in there. I don't know what's happening at this
been
pool.
on a Carnival cruise.
You heard of the villages?
Hey, I can promise you, I have not. But I don't know. I don't know what 22 people are doing in that soup, but must be good.
I don't know. Getting shingles. Whatever. I don't even know if you can get that from a hot tub.
Like on a weird turn. Last time it was a boat. Now it's it's the hot tub.
It really was. But we also have the ability to cut that out and not cut it out in terms of post-production, but we have the ability to stop talking about it. And I'm going to opt for that option right now. As Dave Coulier once said on at least Full House, didn't watch Fuller House, cut it out. Now, let's
just like that, too.
Move on. Very, very on the nose. So let's move away here from the size of the resort and let's talk about the theme. For me, I've already said it once. I do love the theme of the resort. You know, Gran Destino added that Spanish feel overall to the resort, but the rest of the Coronado Springs has that Mexican and Southwestern American type of feeling to it, and terms of how it's translated all around the resort. I think it comes through, but what we've agreed as a group is that unfortunately, though, because of that theming, some of the rooms, well, all of the rooms, because they're all themed the same, but some of the buildings as well as the rooms feel very underwhelming in terms of how that theme is translated. And so that's what we're going to give for our second reason not to stay at Coronado Springs. The rooms in some of the buildings are definitely in need of a room refresh. And before we get into that a little bit more in depth, you know, it would only be right to show you a room. So we're actually going to have Rhino take us on a room tour right now.
Oh, hey, welcome to the room. Look at this view. Hold on, let me get both those there. Just so you're aware, because I myself am scared of big giant windows in hotel rooms. You can't come in through this, all right? That was just the movie magic, as we call it in the biz. That's nice. Pretty view out there, the casitas. Here we are. Look at this, 2 queens. I feel like I'm going to make the obvious joke. 3 if you count me. Shut up. Have a seat with me. Have some thoughts. This is nice. It's just a chair. I do like this. I mean, I guess this would be your side table here. Nice place to sit. Is it supposed to move from side to side? Oh, it is. That is nice. Now you can give yourself a little spin. A little dynamic. Look at this. Who knew you were getting a hotel room and an attraction all in one? Art. What are those guys right there? Those are the 3... I can't remember the name of the movie. 3 Amigos. I was going to say the movie with Steve Martin and Martin Short and Chevy Chase, but it is the 3 Caballeros. So, which is, you know, seen throughout the resort here. You can also see them over here in the center piece of the bed. We'll get over there a little bit earlier, but let's start right meow. I like a nice long counter space. This is very nice because I like that there's another chair for sitting and thinking here too. That's nice. What's down here? A refrigerator. Look at this. So you can sit right here, have a nice chat, throw that open into somebody, grab yourself a cold. Okay, well, try and get in. Okay, well, is this the safe or the refrigerator? Oh, is it? Oh, the hinges. I wish that would be deleted, but I have a feeling it won't. Anyway, that's a nice size fridge. It's clear. Yeah, I said clear. Anyway, got yourself your Keurig machine. Why don't we take a little peek, see what's on tap over here. We got ourselves 2 English breakfasts, a green tea, and then 3 coffees, along with all the accoutrements there. It's nice. I'd call front desk and ask for more green tea. It's just me. I like these little shelves here, because I like that your water bucket with your cups are up here. No super nice cups this time, which is interesting, but I do like having this like space. So anything that has like organization skills, that's A-okay with me. You got yourself, I don't want to say it, because last time it said something real creepy to me. Hey, Disney. No, didn't hear me that time. That's fine. I don't want to do it. I like this little light. It's nice. Very, very sleek. So there are 2, just behind this little Mickey Mouse's head, there are 2 USB, classic USB 2, I believe that is, there along with that outlet. And then right over here, further down the counter space, we have 2 more outlets with 2 more USB chargers. So there's a lot of outlets because there's 2 at the front door as well in here. And then you got yourself your drawers. I have said it before. I like this one, nice and shallow. Do they get bigger as they go? They sure do. Look at that one, a little deeper for your jeans maybe, or bulky clothing. I don't know. I like that there's one on each side, one for each bed. And I am one of those people that unpacks on vacation, so having drawers like this is a nice benefit for me. I also like that there is a full-length mirror right here, so I can look at myself and say, I don't like you, right into the mirror. But also it's nice for like, you know, the big luggage or something like that. It'd be over here. I feel like a little bit of a missed opportunity maybe for a little bench or something like that. Just me, but I don't know how many seating areas you need because now we have 2 chairs over here. But again, I'm just going to say it. I really do like a nice long counter. This is plenty of space if you come in here to work or you're just like sitting and relaxing or just doing your taxes or what are you doing? I don't know. There's plenty of space here. And then 2 beds here, which I believe has a safe underneath of it. Now you might think this is a huge safe. It's not. That's not bad size, though. It's pretty good. It's just like, usually these are in the wall. This is the first time I've seen it under there. Do we have Jesus in the drawer? Yeah, he's probably in there somewhere. What's really nice here as well, I like these 2. These are really, really cool. I kind of wish these were lights. I don't think they are, but I like them. I feel like it's a missed opportunity to not have a light bulb back there, but let me just double check. I can confirm they are not, and I almost put my thumb inside of that outlet. But 2 more outlets, 2 more on either side, which is nice because for me, I do my Apple Watch and my phone every night, but then having those 2 there, then you can sit in bed with the computer or whatever else you need. So lots of stuff there. So if you're a party of 4 or something like that, that would go in here. I have to say too, I actually really like the colors in here. Like the orange headboard is nice with the yellow here. I like these like lights. This feels a little dusty. I touched it and now I feel gross about it. But you know, they're fabric lamps. It kind of happens. You've got yourself your thermostat is all the way over here. So this was the bed I would choose. So if anyone tries to change it at night, yeah, it's cut down. Because I like it real cold. Real cold. And we're not going to put the fan on auto. Oh, I turned the heat on. We're going to keep it on. Oh, turn the heat on again. We're going to keep the... Okay, well, I can't get it up to the high fan, so... I just wanted to check these curtains, too. Because you never know. Disney likes to hide stuff in the curtains. Like me, when we started this video. Let's go to the bathroom over here. Check this out. I really like the... I like a barn door. I was concerned because at first I'm like, oh, is this the only way? Like, if I were to reenact a scene from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. I can't do it. So what's nice about these though is this closes and there's also the hidden door. I love hidden doors. They just don't, it's like, don't lock me out of there. They just take up so much less space than a regular door. But in here you got a nice big wardrobe. Look at that. You got your ironing board in there. Whoops. That thing for your other luggage. There's like downstairs storage area. There's an uptown storage area where you got the extra pillow and the blanket up there. And then my favorite spot in this hotel room, this little nook. It's like the timeout corner. My mother would have loved this area. I mean, she could still love it. She's still with us. I don't know why I said that. Hey, guess what's hiding back here? Another outlet. 2 outlets in the with 2 sinks. That's nice. Because then you can have the his and hers, his and his, hers and hers. Whatever, and everybody gets their own place for their electric shavers or whatever you're going to plug in the bathroom here. I don't know. It's your business, not mine. It looks like we've got a bar of soap. I know this is a crazy thing to point out, but lately I've been going to hotel rooms and they only give you, hold on, 1 bar of soap. Here we are. There's only 1 bar of soap in here. Also, what's really nice is right by Craig's head, there's another rack. And right by his butt, there's a towel rack. So There is not one on the door or in the bathroom here. So I guess that is where the towels are going to go. Gross if you're going to share the towel rack. So you got to figure that out yourself. But I do like how the lighting in this bathroom is like inlaid into here. I don't know. It always does this like really cool thing with your eyes. I feel like you get your standard Disney like pull out mirror a little bit. And then if you are wondering, is there a dryer down here? There sure is. A hair dryer, that is, which is essential for me on vacation, especially in Florida with all this humidity. I do not want the curl in my hair. But then there's a bathroom here. If you'll come on in with me, that's a toilet. We use those. Here's this. 2 shower heads up in here. 2. So you got yourself like a little, oh, no, it's on a little bit. That feels nice. And then this guy over here. So that little shelf there, you could try and sit, but I probably wouldn't. I don't think I'd fit. And then this window, which if you knock, if you know the right knock, someone will slide this open and give you a shower beer. This is that Disney Resorts. It's not H2O, baby. It makes me a little sad. Uh-oh, dirty footprints. Someone was walking in there. Shame. I do like that this area is all sectioned off like this. So I don't get the thing why they don't give you bars of soap when you wash, because I use both a bar of soap and body wash when I wash. I do a double duty. I got a lot of anxiety. So you could eat spaghetti off of me when you're done. I don't know why you would, and I wouldn't care for that. All right, here we go. I'm going to check this bed. I banged my leg when I jumped up. It's pretty good. I could see myself falling asleep in this bed. I'm pretty tired, actually. Let me look under the bed. I'm not crawling all the way under today. Oh. We're going to do the under test. Feels spider webby. I feel like Drop Dead Fred a little bit right now. Cobwebs. Well, gang, I'm happy to report it's tight space under here. I can fit, though. I bet my luggage could fit, and I bet any annoying children could go under here as well. That's your choice, not mine. But I think that's it.
I love the size of those rooms. I think Rhino couldn't stop getting fixated over how long that like bar table long part under the TV was. You know, he was obsessed with that. But I you know, it's like you have 3 pictures in that entire room that are like, this is Coronado Springs for you.
Yeah,
You're
that's
welcome.
a missed opportunity, you know, like, and you mentioned your Donald shirt, and that being kind of like a tie to Coronado Springs. Like, I would love to see more 3 Caballeros like they used to have, you know, like not, I don't know, but I feel that way overall. Like, I miss the days of like over the top Disney theming. But I feel like they could add it even in like the wall colors or, you know, some of the salt, like the curtains or just something like that to make it feel like it feels like if it weren't for that sliding door in the bathroom, it feels like a Hilton Garden Inn.
Yeah.
Which, okay, but you're at Disney World.
No, I think also, too, you kind of, if you think about French Quarter, where we kind of got on it, there wasn't enough theming in there, too.
Sure.
But at least I felt like there was a little bit more cover with the color with the green wall.
Yeah.
And you had the big New Orleans square picture. So there was a little bit more. And this felt really like if you could give me one wall that was like a good accent wall with something themed to the resort, whether it's 3 Caballeros, Saludos Amigos, pull from Mary Blair artwork that she did on all of the Goodwill trips to South America.
That would be
something from one of those and put that in there in a bigger way. And you're talking a game changer. And it's still, I think that I remember Coronado Springs being one of the first Disney resorts when they got it into shape before Gran Destino Tower, refurbing the rooms. That's when they moved to hardwood floors and, you know, the whole like cut down on the amount of theming, but still add in little touches here and there. I feel like, you know, they kind of set the mold for it as far as Disney went, but now they could add a little bit more back in. And I feel like it could be a benefit in that way. And it's just, it's missing a little pop of color for me, I think, more than anything.
a good comparison would be the new rooms at Caribbean Beach. Like they're still subtle, but they have like the nods to Little Mermaid and, some of those like bright Caribbean colors like that. I feel like that's a good example of subtle Disney moderate level resort. Like that would be good.
Yeah. But Rhino, you were more specific about not liking the buildings. Can you share a little bit more about that?
I feel like they've got I don't know if it's just like the paint job or the color. It just has that like sort of yellow, like deep yellow golden color to it. It's not quite, I don't even want to say quite golden, but it reminds me of, I mean, anybody who's lived in a southern area, a sunny area, excuse me, or left something in the sun, picture in the sun for too long, you've seen that like yellowy sort of texture that starts to happen. It happens to your white clothing as you wash it and wear it more and more, and it kind of, that to me immediately feels a little dated, a little older, a little dirty kind of looking. Like it doesn't have that sort of like, it doesn't hold that like bright, fun, like you said earlier, you wanted, a pop of color in the room, a little more of that pop of color. Like it seems like it's like the wrong shade of color almost. Like, I don't know the word for it. I completely forget the word for it. Those like almost like the roof that does this. That's like the
like a tile roof.
Yeah, are you talking about like mission style architecture?
Yeah. Like that color, like because the where I live, those are the color of the building. Although they're painting them gray and white right now, which looks
interesting,
terrible.
Yeah.
So I will tell you that looks worse. But
that's like an on trend thing. They'll be outdated, which is probably what happened.
Well, I said there's a part of me where I was like, well, they're built to look this way, and now that they're repainting them this other color, I was like, this looks completely off because the roof isn't getting painted. So they still have this really red clay roof that is that like that Spanish like sort of rounded tile, and it is like. I don't know. I just feel like the resort it just immediately looks like it's a little sun washed, and if that makes sense, that's like and so I am in there, and I'm not saying like, oh look, I don't know if dirty was the right word. It feels like not glamorous in a way, which is sad because there's a lot of glamorous things about it. Like you already mentioned, the pool. I think is a very cool looking pool. Yeah. Three Bridges out there is a very nice and elevated experience.
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. It's very muted. And I do think back by the ranchos where you get a little bit more trees and shade. I
like it better back there.
I do like it better back there. Up front, it looks during the daytime, it is very muted. I will say though, again, trying to keep the positive with it, this resort's got some vibes at night. I mean, between the lighting, kind of in the main dining area with lighting in that area, and then even Gran Destino Tower, it adds a pop that goes around the resort, and then you get a little bit from Three Bridges and the pool area. So I think this resort comes alive more at night, and during the daytime, it is just kind of one note, and the water helps a little bit. That Lago.
Now that you can
there's
walk
on it. But I totally get what you mean. And I honestly, I would not be offended if anyone said we're sitting here and getting a little too into the nitty gritty with this stuff. But honestly, it's just when you come back to the resort for a break, a nap, you have a day at the resort, you want to feel like it's home. And I do think there's plenty, like, I don't like Caribbean Beach Resort, but I was just there last week, and that is the complete opposite. That does pop. I feel like that, as much as I don't like it, that has something about it that I'm like, you're there and you feel a little bit more. This is just muted. And I'm a guy for the longest time. I said, I want a mission style home. I want to feel like I'm living in Southern California. But then when I see it there, I'm like, I don't really
it's too big. It's too big. I think the problem is it's especially when you're like first coming out, because again, the room that we were talking about was the Casitas room, is like, I think it looks good in those sections, and I think it looks good in like that, like you just said, the Spanish mission style home and stuff like that. But it is like when you're out there, when you first come out, and if you're coming out of like the convention area or something, and it's that part where it's like the big semicircle, it's just one of those where it's like, it's kind of too much of the same note, I think is what it is.
I get
That's
that.
true.
I get
Not
that.
so much landscaping too. I feel like that just makes it feel like more open, and especially like, I mean, maybe it is sun bleach because it's, you don't have as much shade, so it just feels like it's just hot and open, and it feels like you'd be anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, the one place you don't want to be on a 95 plus degree day is Coronado Springs, standing out there in the sun. It is pretty rough. But we'll move on. Because we still got a little bit more to cover here. Let's go outside the rooms now, and let's talk about
Hold on, let's open that door.
That is that's our third thing that we think why you shouldn't stay there. And this is going to shock a lot of people, actually, because I think Coronado Springs has become known for their dining, and I think that is again because of Gran Destino, which, to remind you now for the 16th time, we are not including that in here. Yes, it is an option for you, but we're just talking about if you pretended it wasn't there, focusing on what else is around, plus Three Bridges. It's a little rough. So I think the main restaurants need an update. The three restaurants, dining options you'll have in the main building, you have El Mercado de Coronado. That's the quick service. More on that in a second. You have Maya Grill, a table service restaurant. You have Rick's Sports Bar and Grill, which is also a table service restaurant. Then outside of those three, just outside the lobby, the old lobby area and where the fountain is and the gift shop, you have the Laguna Bar. Then kind of off of the old lobby area and by the gift shop, you have Cafe Rick's, which is open for breakfast, coffees, and pastries. And then finally, over by the pool, you have Siesta's Cantina. That is the pool bar. And again, we're going to include Three Bridges Bar and Grill in this as well, since it is basically surrounded by all of the original rooms at the resort. So we'll include it in for dining. And really, outside of Three Bridges, it's rough. We have a dining review coming out in very, very soon from El Mercado de Coronado, the quick service. And needless to say, I feel like it was a bit of a letdown for us. And I mean, I think it was one of those ones where in the moment we were trying to be more positive with it, but it just like...
It fell flat.
I don't know.
It was a little disappointing, and I think so I don't think I've eaten there in several years, but I do remember the menu being a little bit more inspired by the theme of the resort, and it's just kind of a very confusing menu now, but I mean, would definitely appeal to a wide variety of people. I guess that's it. Like I don't know. But I was hoping for something a little more exciting.
Yeah. Where was the quesadilla?
Where was the dang quesadilla?
Where
were the fajitas?
Where was it? Well, the one thing they did have, 3 milks.
Tres leches.
That's right. Rhino loves those.
I've had so many tres leches cakes since we had it. I'm literally in my head trying to go backwards because we had a tres leches cake at Three Bridges. Craig and I separately had a tres leches cake at Chewy's. Craig has also had a tres leches cake from Crumble. And then we had that tres leches cake. And I was like,
and
this
Mexico.
was the gritty sandpaper.
Oh, that was the sandpaper tres leches. Yeah, and then we had the one in Mexico. Like, my God.
You're like,
good Lord.
10
Body
cakes.
built by leches.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Wow. We love tres leches cake here.
I mean, you especially.
We will accept tres leches sponsorship.
Yeah.
If there is a company out there that wants to send us tres leches cakes, there's trace of us.
Amanda, get on that.
Yeah.
Get us those hookups.
Yeah.
The food delivery
Thanks to
hookups.
Amanda. She's too busy reading that book.
I need to know more.
Hannah, that's what you get when you miss out on the review.
I know,
Just
that
saying
is so
that.
true. I am
Just
sad
saying.
about it.
But yeah, so it's rough. At least one day we will be able to say that we might be the quintessential experts on Trace Lake Cheesecake at Walt Disney World. Potentially, we might. But
we'll tell it to the hospital staff when we're hooked up.
We did it for the leches. All trace of them.
Oh no, those trace.
Maya Grill. Before we got started here, I mean, we probably would have rushed to review it for this had I think it ever truly dawned on me. I guess we don't talk well or I don't listen well, but the gang here informed me that apparently I'm the only one of the three of us that has eaten at Maya Grill. And
I think once 15 years ago, when I first came here.
No,
I feel like I remember being in there, going in there, but the only thing I remember is being like,
Looked
can
at
I
the
order
menu.
a margarita? I'm like, I don't know.
You can order a margarita anywhere. Tell you
Yeah.
that for free.
You can order a margarita anywhere. And I've eaten there. There was a couple times where we ate there, like, again, probably 15 years ago.
What year is it? 2024, and you're
it
like,
might be 20 years.
That's
it
why I'm like-
might literally be
Hey.
20 years at this
yeah, but
point.
you used to stay there.
Right.
And that's why I'm saying, and that was a lot in 2000, I would say 2003 to
Yeah, that's 20 years ago, baby.
That's
Ugh.
a long time because we did that like usually from about, I feel like we kind of discovered Coronado maybe like 2004 to about like 2008, 2009, right in that time period. So I know I was definitely there after I turned 21. Because I took advantage of the beverages in the club
margaritas.
level. But yeah, so Maya Grill wasn't always awful, but since I've worked for the DIS, it's just like, it's one of those ones when we've covered Coronado Springs, it's like, I guess we have to go eat at Maya Grill. And it's like, it's just, it
the
doesn't leave
atmosphere
an
looks
impression.
sad. Like I've
It
never
is.
eaten there, but it just looks sad. And then it's like Disney prices on food that you can get, maybe at a place back home, and so you're just like, I don't want to pay. The
It's
only
convention
positive
prices.
it is
not
that is
even not
correct.
even Disney prices, and that's where
Yeah.
I feel like the quick service and Maya Grill and even Rick's to an extent all have that downfall, is that they are looking for conventioners who
For
have
sure.
that per diem. I mean, it's not always just like businessmen. It's yesterday when we were there, they were checking in dancers, and so it was, well, actually, I guess when we ate at the quick service too, it was overrun
It was a
with
dance
I
competition.
was like waiting for the time when I was like, am I allowed to talk about the fact that there were way too many almost naked children running around this place? I was like, can people put pants and tops on in here for the love of God? And it wasn't just the children. There was an adult lady who came up right up behind
there were
Hannah.
a lot of bikinis at the inside quick service.
I
just,
they have a pool
I
bar.
did pull up the
Yeah.
menu for Maya Grill real quick as we're recording this, just to kind of reference it. So, like, we got guacamole at Three Bridges. Hannah wouldn't know
$12.
about this. $12. The house
other times.
guacamole here inside at Maya Grill, $14. But they says there's a couple of family style shareable options, but like a carne asada is $72. The
Whoa.
Veracruz snapper, $74.
Wait, is that shareable?
You get one fish, whole pan seared snapper fillet with house made Veracruz sauce, accompanied with cilantro lime rice, refried beans, and fried plantains for two people. $75.
That's insane,
The Maya
guys.
Grill
No,
Parriata.
I'm sorry. I just got back from Key West.
I know. I'm trying
where
to
you
think
could
about
like stuff is at a premium. You're
Okay.
on an island
Yeah,
and you
chicken-
can get fresh snapper.
chicken
for
enchiladas.
$20.
Chicken enchiladas, $30.
Nah, man.
Chicken quesadilla, $26.
Nope.
Oh, that one's tough.
That's
the
highway
enchiladas,
robbery.
I
Like, that
believe,
is-
at San Angel Inn, I think the enchiladas we said were the second cheapest thing
They're like
there,
$20
and those were like 24, if I remember correctly, maybe
Right.
26. So you're definitely
We've got to
looking-
go, though, because guess what's on the dessert menu?
Tres leches.
Pastel de tres leche, $14. House-made sweet sponge cake soaked with three different milks topped with a meringue.
a meringue.
A
you say.
meringue.
Wow, we can go there. You know what?
Wait, Hannah, they have a kids quesadilla. You'll be fine. It's $12.50.
Okay, I can,
You're right,
I'm in
yeah.
it for the kids quesadilla and 62 ounces of margarita.
Yeah. You know,
Sorry, it was a top shelf margarita. It was $24. I was like, a margarita's $24.
that
here.
is
We're
how
not
much
going.
your
Yeah,
San Angel
that-
Inn one
it
cost. though,
was, I know.
remember?
Yeah, that one was like
was.
24, 22. Yeah.
24?
And it didn't
It
even
was
come
24?
served correctly.
I know. You're still
This one
mad
says,
about that.
okay, a prickly pear margarita or a La Classica, I don't know how you say it, $14, and a prickly pear is $16. So
That's
that's
not
like
bad.
the
That's
actually
like kind of on
Prickly
on
pear
par.
was kind of fun.
I will tell you though, there are not a lot of entree. It's not very extensive, and that was kind of the same with Three Bridges. It wasn't extensive, you know.
And
So
I'll
it's
tell
like,
you what, we will now make this one a priority. It's not going to be the
Are
next thing we
we?
review. I think we actually have to now
Really?
at
Ugh.
this point.
well,
And
for the tres,
thing
if nothing
is-
else, then for the tres
Tres
leches.
leches.
Do it for the leches.
Than the
Yeah.
leches. It's not going to change overall how we feel about the dining here. So it's not like Maya Grill is going to be the one to change our
Can we
mind
do
on it.
like a can I be Martin Short in this outfit? Are we like the three?
Like what
amigos
from
now?
Jiminy Glick?
No, from
oh, sorry.
I need you to explain to me.
Have you had tree sled cheesecake. Like, really? Have you had one?
Really? Have you had one?
Exactly.
But yeah, the quick service does such a disservice. My grill, even if it blows us away when we do eat there, now that we have committed to eat there, it's going to have to really blow us away. Rick's. Yeah, I've always been a good proponent of Rick's because I do their burger there is pretty solid. We didn't like. I think I actually liked my breakfast the least when Rhino, Erica, and I ate there because I got the viral Mickey waffles that had the chicken inside. They were.
I mean, I guess what they were.
No, I had yours. It was like the chicken was very dry.
Yeah, it was
chewy.
Yeah, and I think
Very
Rhino's
chewy.
looked the best overall with it. It was like one of those ones where like I get, you know what? It's nice that they have a solid breakfast spot at the hotel.
And it's an additional option. Like, I will say that. And like, we have had friends staying there, and there was it was football season. So it gives you another good place, go and watch a game. It you can get a drink, you can get an appetizer. It gives you options.
It absolutely does. But when it is overrun with conventioners, that spot is miserable.
Yeah, you're like, I'm on vacation.
Yeah, I've done that before too, and I'm like, get me out. I would rather be in a Hilton lobby bar.
Well, you essentially are.
So. I was just like, I know exactly what bar you're talking about right now.
Yeah, ladies of the night walking in with those gentlemen too. Very weird.
I've seen that movie.
I think that with the dining overall, those three options, listen, they're not all bad. It's just there's nothing that's going to overwhelm you. Three Bridges, though. That to me, when we just ate there, it was a huge highlight. I mean, no spoilers for the review, including who we took for that review. So you'll just have to wait and see with that. But we had great company.
Was I replaced?
Technically,
oh my god,
you were the replacer.
You were the replacer of the replacer.
Okay.
Oh yeah, double.
Well, I don't want to
squared.
spoil it, but she can come.
Yeah,
she cool.
It was actually even the one you replaced. I just got confirmation from her that she's ready to start doing reviews. With us
you're
again.
talking. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're not going far enough back.
I know.
You gotta go far back for this one.
Shining
so
star.
much that
they're like, please never come back, Hannah, and bring back that person.
No. It was funny though because
and fair enough.
We had to. It's great. People are going to be happy to see this face back, and Erica also. She's ready to jump in and do more reviews with us too.
Yeah.
So we now know it's not Erica.
Yeah.
You just ruined that. So
okay, can I say my piece because I was not at the review? I do think Three Bridges is great. I didn't realize how much they changed their menu. Sounds like you guys had a good time, but even as a local, sometimes I go over Three Bridges. Like, I think the atmosphere's cool. You can get some fun drinks there. I love to do the Sangria Academy they do there. That sounds fun.
That's what everyone tells us about, and we still have not done Sangria Academy. But the Sangria that we had the other night was delicious, and I do like. I had not been back to Three Bridges since they changed the burger, so this was my first time, and I was more than pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
It's not the old one, but still very happy with it. The biggest takeaway for me overall with it though is that I discovered I got there very early, so I was walking around and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to Barcelona and sit there for a little bit and wait for Rhina. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go out to Three Bridges a little early. Maybe I'll look at that. That's when I discovered that, and our server confirmed at Three Bridges that basically Coronado Springs has one drink menu. So you can get the signature cocktail for the Barcelona Lounge at Three Bridges as that's their signature drink as well too. And if you start really looking at it, it is it's all the same.
But not Dahlia. I don't think you can get the same Dahlia drinks.
I think there's
because there's one. It's the one I like. The La Lavanda. I know you cannot get the Barcelona Lounge or Three Bridges because baby, I've tried.
Which one is that?
It's the gin tonic with the lavender and the big goblet.
No, they don't. It's not what it's. They have a gin and tonic there, but it's not. It's like a.
It's not the one.
It's like saffron or something.
Yeah.
It's the.
It's probably been a year since I've tried. I tried probably about a year
Yeah,
ago.
There is crossover because there was one that I was looking at it.
Yeah.
There was a lot of crossover that
that's good.
I spotted with it. But I'm not saying that's a problem. it's nice to know,
think
like,
it
oh, if
opens
you
up
can't get into this
your-
bar, or if there's too many seats taken at that one, you can go to this one, whatever. It's just, I don't, but I've never been impressed really with the drinks at Three Bridges. It's always like, it's always been kind of underwhelming for me.
I like the sangria. I like,
Yeah, if the
sangria is
sangria
great.
is
That's
right,
what I always
I don't wake up and I'm like, let me drink sangria. That's not. I'm not.
Are
that
you
type
waking
of
up
guy.
thinking, "Let me drink something"? Because that's another conversation we're going to start having.
And
No,
welcome
I'm
to
not
Greg's
doing that.
intervention.
There's been plenty of times there though that I've gone to Three Bridges and I'm like with friends specifically for drinks and split some appetizers, and it's
Not
like
us.
I always just end up with a beer and I'm like, this kind of felt underwhelming.
Sure. All
It's
right.
the same way I felt after so many times of going to what's the waterfront one at Wilderness Lodge.
Oh yeah, I know.
Geyser Point.
Yeah, I feel the
Geyser
same
Point,
way.
thank
about
you.
Geyser
Yeah,
Point. I
it's
was
like, I got so like I kept trying the same cocktails over and over again,
Yeah,
expecting them
yeah.
to be better, and it's like, I'll just drink a Space Dust, which I am very allergic to, and then
Really?
I break out, and then I have a terrible
Oh.
time. I'm like, it wasn't worth it.
Wow. Not worth it.
Especially now that we've been to Territory Lounge, and I'm like, this is the superior bar. Screw the beautiful waterfront view of
Just walking out
Geyser
there.
Point. Territory is the bee's knees.
I feel you on that. And I think you can order a bee's knees there.
I'm sure you can.
But the biggest question: do bees have knees?
Can I address the elephant in the room here and just
What'd you call
say that I feel like part of Coronado's selling point is that you can get some food and some drinks at Gran Destino. Can we say it?
Yeah, we can, but specifically for this, that's what we're saying. Like, we're not talking about what's available in Gran Destino. That is
Right.
a selling point for it.
I think
but
it's a selling
this
point that
is-
should be mentioned.
It's obviously
But-
mentioned. If
Yeah.
But that's the thing is this all could be wiped under the rug and saying Coronado as a whole is great as long as you include Gran Destino in there. But if you took
Yes.
Gran Destino out and took this for what it is, this is what you
Correct.
have. And I feel like that also needs to be addressed too.
Yeah,
That
it does. Yeah.
it's like they added again, they built a castle with all the amenities of the castle.
But you can stay in, whatever the guest house of the castle and still use the castle's amenities.
yeah, you absolutely
So,
can.
castle amenities, guest house prices.
But that's the thing that why I wanted to stay away from that with
I know.
this specific review, because otherwise it just says like, yeah, do that because of this, where really I
Right.
feel like the more important thing is to look at what else they offer, because it's almost to the point where it's like, if you're going to have all these subpar restaurants made up because, well, it's fine because we give you good stuff at Gran
I
Destino.
think that might be what's
then
happening. Yeah.
don't this is what we need to fix. This needs to be addressed in that way. And
Right.
I'm not trying to say we're the warriors who are supposed to do it, but
We're the
but
translations
at
warriors.
the same time, it needs this is why that has to be, because I think too many people would just say Coronado Springs, it was great. I went to Dahlia Lounge. I had great drinks
Yeah.
at Three
Right,
Bridges
yeah,
and
yeah.
food at Three Bridges. I loved Barcelona Lounge, ate at Toledo. That was a highlight meal. Yeah, you can say all that, but
Right,
then
right.
you're ignoring what about the building full of restaurants that has been there for years and years and years?
It makes me. It makes it feel sad.
Yeah.
It
Like,
does. Yeah,
yeah.
it does. Yeah.
If you're
So,
really
I
walking
agree.
around and wandering and looking at stuff, it's
Yeah.
kind of like I'm a little sad.
And then I got to give a shout out. There will be a snack attack at some point, because as we were
Ooh.
researching for this, completely missed that Siesta's Cantina Pool Bar has a walking taco. and if you know Rhino,
taco. Well, I love a walking taco.
Wait, have you gotten the walking taco at Eat? At Disney Springs?
Excuse me? No, I didn't even know there was one there. So guess
Girl,
we're going
it's
there now
good.
too.
And also, now I'm the queen of the walking taco.
We'll see.
I mean, do they use
You can keep
Doritos at
Tristley
Eat?
Cheese. No, they use basically it's like a Indian Cheeto.
No, it's not walking taco then. It's got to be a Dorito bag.
Girl, it's
Fritos
in a bag.
Sorry,
It's in a
Fritos
bag.
Fritos bag. Fritos.
You don't even
Sorry
know.
for
And it comes
offending
in the little
the-
bag.
We have to see this one.
A
'cause I
saffron
think-
flavored Cheeto? Come on, get out of here.
I don't know. I'm happy with the poutine at Eat. I don't need anything else besides that, really.
He does.
I could die
Loves
in that poutine.
He loves that poutine.
Well,
It's good.
Fine.
Yeah, I know this isn't about eat, but I really like. I
That
dream
poutine is good.
every time I walk past that restaurant. I'm like, if I want to go out today, if I want to end it all.
Do you mean okay? I was just
Like,
gonna say
I
like this
guess-
is getting dark.
Is this your last
It is.
meal?
I'm like, if I want this to be my last meal, maybe I will suffocate myself in that poutine there.
Oh,
It's so good.
put that in your will.
Will and testament. You know, I still have a lot of life left to live.
Rory, there's
You're
one
living
thing I'm
well.
going to ask you one day
Yeah.
as your father.
Do not resuscitate.
Gonna come
But-
to you one day.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
want questions.
The final reason here, as we wrap this all up, the big reason not to stay at Coronado Springs, I believe overall is, quite frankly, its proximity in the greater Walt Disney World Resort in terms of what you get with where you're staying at. So Coronado Springs is in the Animal Kingdom section. If you like looked it up on Disney's site and they break down like this is in here and there, they put it in Animal Kingdom. The closest thing to it is Blizzard Beach. And then you are very close to Hollywood Studios, to Epcot, to Animal Kingdom, Magic Kingdom, and Disney Springs are by far the farthest away. Not that that's not necessarily a problem, but the big like thing that I feel like needs to be addressed eventually is that all the other moderates have something special with it. You have French Quarter and Riverside having the smooth vibrations as you move
Cut
your
to
way
Rhino.
up and down the Sasagula River. Rhino, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm hearing good vibrations by Marky Mark in my head right now. That's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm picking up good vibrations.
Take it to dinner first, okay?
And that's the Beach Boys ones. And then, of course, Caribbean Beach has the Skyliner. Even if you still consider the cabins at Fort Wilderness, I know transition period, you have boat
You get the boat.
transportation
Yeah.
over to Magic Kingdom. They all offer something like that. And Coronado Springs offers nothing.
Buses.
Buses.
Get on the bus.
And that's
They bust
kind
them.
of, I know the thing that makes the most sense is please figure out a way to make the Skyliner also
Just
be able to be
cross-world
attached to
drive and-
Coronado. But I mean, it needs something like that.
Sure, yeah.
It does.
Yeah. I don't know, or like give us something. I don't know how they could
Go-karts.
connect the Skyliner.
It's just everyone's
Go-kart.
driving the golf carts around.
Hey,
It's fine. Let's do this. Finally build Walt's People Mover outside and do a People Mover.
Oh. What about one of those little trains they have at the mall? You know?
I mean, Walt had one of
Yeah.
those in his backyard.
Yeah,
so
why not? Yeah.
I mean,
Take
train
the one
trans-
from Disney Springs, put it down at that thing.
You know, we live in a day and age where eventually the train that goes to Conservation
Bright Line
Station
or-
will probably end
Oh.
eventually. I mean, they're always going to conserve animals in Animal Kingdom, but that train just seems like so inconvenient.
Okay.
Like,
Goes
it
one
still
way,
blows
Of
my
all
mind.
the
Like,
things that they operate at Disney World, and they're like, we can't afford it, and you're like, but you run a train every day.
basically
like,
run
yeah,
a train to nowhere. Like, I mean, it's in a loop. But same thing with Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Either way, I feel like the train going to Conservation Station at Animal Kingdom
Just move it.
is
It's
a
an Animal
waste.
Kingdom
There's
hotel.
an easier. Just let people walk there or do something else, and take that train and make it now transportation where you
It's
can take the
the
train from Coronado Springs.
Southwest Railway.
It is. And, we'll just ignore the bad history of the railroad being built in the United States and everything with that, but
Yeah.
assume still.
are you going to be a Florida history teacher?
No.
Well, you sounded like one right then.
This one, I feel like, yes, it's still fine where it is. You can get around pretty quickly. The buses can move around. It's not that big of a deal, but I don't know. We live in a different age of Walt Disney World
Yeah.
now where it's like, I feel like they've now set up where moderates should have something else with it to justify that moderate price point. And this is one that doesn't. And I mean, it's kind of up there with Animal Kingdom being like, this is a deluxe that you are isolated out in nowhere.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
okay because
it's,
you got animals. You don't have any animals at, Coronado.
just conventioners and
Yeah.
They are animals.
Yeah,
conventioners
all
and
22 of them
apparently
in the hot tub.
half-dressed children.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
there
Yeah,
you
that's true.
go. Terrible stuff.
You
But
know, though, can I say something? Hot take is I feel like I book of the moderates. I book Caribbean Beach and I book Coronado. I don't book
Yep.
that much Port Orleans, and I love Port Orleans Riverside. That was my resort growing up. So Coronado's still got going on.
it
and
does,
I'm not
but I
even
think
talking,
it's because of the availability. It's 1,900 rooms, and Caribbean
a lot of
Beach is the
rooms.
same, 1,500 rooms
a lot
at
of
Caribbean
rooms.
Beach. It's a lot of rooms.
Yeah.
So the more rooms you have, the more you can sell. Whereas I think we said with French Quarter, it was like just over 900.
Right.
That's significant. So, But I mean, we don't need to get in the nitty gritty with it here. And I think we can probably actually wrap up our conversation. I do think we've done a good job of highlighting the good and bad within the original aspects of Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. And yeah, I know this is reasons why you shouldn't stay at that resort, but I do think we've also given you enough reasons why it's still okay if you decide to stay there. And now we can finally say it. And if you do decide to stay there, you have Gran Destino Tower to bring everything up. There we go. I was saving it for the end.
All right.
Had to get rid of the bad, and now we can admit, yes, Gran Destino is still there. If you're like super nervous, unless, and I'm gonna the last hot take of this episode, Rhino hates Toledo.
I don't like the word hate. I don't care for it.
It's not. Say you're lying.
It has like 3 things on the menu.
Oh. Do you want the small portions, like the tapas style, like stuff? Is that bother?
We'd have to go. We'll have to go for a review because
Ooh.
I was never part of one here. But it was like I've gone twice now and been like, I don't want to keep coming here.
And the funny thing is, every time he ate there, he thought he was eating at Topolino's.
True.
And I believe we did cover that on a different episode.
Yeah.
We did.
So, in
Probably
terms
check the
of,
name of the restaurants you eat at, but that's fine.
Yeah, so technically,
Those tea
if
rooftop
we were
names.
talking about this with Rhino, throwing Gran Destino in is not necessarily a big benefit for him, but he loves Barcelona.
I love Barcelona.
Barcelona.
They build your own gin, even though it's like not really on the menu, but they still let you do it. It's good. It's good.
It is on the
But
menu.
here's the thing.
It's on the menu.
It is on the
Yeah.
menu again. Here's the thing, though. I did want to note it. Just real quick before you wrapped up, because you said Three Bridges 4:30, Barcelona Lounge 4:30.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know what
true.
times the other restaurants
true.
open. So
No, Barcelona's 3:00. 3:00.
it was open when I was there the other day.
Yes, it was open at 3:00. It opens.
He told us it was you.
Well, I'm a little
We
mad.
wanted to
So
go
their
over
signs
there.
are very they have multiple signs
Yeah.
because like they have signs out
Okay.
on the table that they leave out with like the breakfast service that you can do there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked on a table and it said, dinner started or nighttime,
Evening
evening,
hours,
thank you,
yeah.
at 3:00. So I guess the main thing to say is definitely check to see what the hours are with it. Don't just assume it's going to be open, but at least yesterday when I was there, it was 3:00 that it was
Okay.
open.
Okay.
So, but and to counter that too, with Three Bridges might open up at 4:30, but it stays open all the way till midnight. And I think
Yeah.
that is a huge benefit too. I know it's not completely
It
rare
fills up
for
fast
places
too,
to stay.
guys. Like if you have a larger, because it's not that big of a restaurant, so if you want to go, get on that wait list early. You
And they
won't be
do-
waiting.
They have the wait list
Yes,
and they
walk
have
up.
to go as well. That it's an option.
Oh,
That's good to know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah, it's sometimes very slow. So
And by the time you get back to your room, it's going to be cold because you just walked 20 miles.
yeah, it's that's.
I'm
I mean, that's
kidding.
my problem with all of Disney's to go is like you put it in and you're like, when you get the alert that they're like, okay, make my food, then it like tells you immediately. It's like, okay, we're starting to prepare your food now. It's like, wait, so now I have to wait
Yeah.
another 20 minutes
Yeah, you
while
do.
you cook it. It's like,
Yep.
and then yeah, by the time you get it and they box it up and you get back to your place, it is inevitably cold, but that's different. So I kind of guess we already just threw it in there, but any final thoughts on this?
No more.
No more?
No more.
I feel like, I mean, the positives I'll reiterate is that it is, kind of a 2-for-1 resort. Almost, I would say almost like Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter. Like you almost have like 2 different experiences, one place. The rates are there good. Like I said, you can get a room pretty easily.
Big rooms.
Yeah, big rooms, the pool. These are all good reasons to stay there. I think it's just, the moderate game has changed now, and just set your expectations. Like I think too, people see Gran Destino and they think maybe if you're not super familiar that the rooms are maybe going to be similar to those in Gran Destino, or it's going to be a similar experience, and they're, to your point, 2 very different resorts.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean I think that pool's great. I've had some great nachos at that pool.
Yeah.
Great
Oh,
margaritas.
Absolutely.
So,
I don't think you're going to regret it if
No.
it's where you're booked. But if you're also on the fence and you're thinking about a different resort, thinking about something like maybe I want to try this for the first time, absolutely. Go with what feels right to you. And if you've heard everything we've said, if you really are interested in the dining options, if you love the idea of the theme, the size of the rooms, whatever drives you to book it, or if it's just that the price is right, go for it. It's
Yeah.
Walt Disney World. You're not going to have a bad time. And most of the time you're going to use it for sleeping, and that's about it, except for your resort days where maybe you're going to the pool or whatever. But it's a place for you to rest your head while you're having fun at the rest of Walt Disney World. And it's relatively clean, like every resort. And I say relatively because this man will always find dust if it's available, and he's always disgusted by it. And it's usually under the bed because he's like,
Because I like to crawl under the bed.
Yeah.
Always leave a dusty mess.
Get you like a headlight thing.
Yeah.
And they always point out and the reviews are like, so he won't touch this because there's dust, and then he crawls under the bed.
I'm not happy about crawling under the bed, but
Yeah,
it's become a
somebody's
thing,
gotta
so
do
I
it.
have to do it.
No,
So
it is a whatever we call it, room tours, foolish room tours. So that's what we have to do. But that's going to do it for this special Walt Disney World Resort review. If you're looking to book a vacation to Walt Disney World, please consider using Dreams Unlimited Travel for your upcoming vacation. And again, for more exclusive content from our DIS team, head over to patreon.com/DISUnlimited. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up and leave us comments, questions, and video suggestions on where to stay next in the comment section, and subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us ratings and reviews when possible. But that's it for us. Thank you so much for tuning into this resort review. Thank you, Hannah and Rhino, for sharing your thoughts as well. And we will be back soon to tell you more of the best ways to stay at Walt Disney World. Bye-bye.